All right, testing the microphone real quick. Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'd say that's pretty good. Hello, everybody. Just streaming some more animation here since I'm able to use a better setup with my microphone here. I'm actually able to use the one right next to me as opposed to the crappy built-in desktop audio that I usually do. Because an Amazon delivery came in much earlier than expected. So with that in mind, let's get right into it. One thing I want to check real quick. Is that getting picked up by that? Here, let me see. Yeah, come on. Here, this is what I'll do. Ugh. This is not intuitive at all. All right. Maybe what I'll do instead. This kind of gives away what the song is, but whatever. Let's see. Okay, so that's getting picked up, which is good. For those of you tuning in who don't know, this is a passion project. I'm syncing all the animation to the music, which you no doubt saw just a second ago. And everything that I'm putting in this music video is 100% improvised. I don't really have any kind of pre-plan. I just make it up as I go. And for this section, I have like a breakdancer here. But I'm thinking of morphing him into a different kind of dancer for this next little section here. So let's... Ooh, hang on. I want to mark that with a different color, actually. Yeah. Why is it not going? 2, 3. Let's... Okay. Yeah, that's weird. It wasn't marking this one for some reason. Still not. But anyways, yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm going to mark this one. Get rid of the mark on here. Because I was thinking what I would have him turn into is, you know those Hawaiian fire dancers? The ones, like in Lilo and Stitch, the ones that like twirl like fire sticks around and it's a really cool aesthetic. I was thinking of doing that next. And it's going to be a little difficult. This next section is going to be pretty elaborate, and I'll need a lot of reference for it. But I think it could really work out. So. And in case you don't know what I'm doing here, essentially, I'm placing down markers so that, and I'm listening to the audio cues as I go, so that I'm able to time what's happening to the audio a lot better. It helps me like figure out exactly what the beats are, so to speak. And that way, I can put my keys exactly where they need to be so that it follows the sync of the song exactly. So with that in mind, let's look up, I wonder what you call those guys. Yeah. You probably can't see it at the moment, but I'm looking up reference on what kind of poses these guys do. I'm thinking what I'll do first is I'll make him do like a straight up pose, and then I'll make him like spread his limbs out. So I'll start like that. Not worrying too much at the moment about proportions. What matters first is getting the pose just right. This is going to have a lot of secondary action too because of like the grass anklets and whatnot. Basically, the idea behind this project is to put in as many different things as possible and just really challenge myself by like doing all sorts of different stuff. This one's going to be particularly challenging, I think, because this will involve some effects animation because of the fire, and so that's not something I typically do. In fact, honestly, I would say my biggest weakness as an animator is effects animation. It's something that I struggle wrapping my head around, but we'll give it a solid go anyway. I've surprised myself a lot doing this project, so maybe it'll work out better than I think. Yeah, so this pose isn't too bad so far. Let's figure out some of the musculature here. Not a fan of where the head is at the moment. Let's move that further over here. Let's give him more of a round face too, because that's something I could get more into the habit of. A lot of my faces are very angular, very square. And it would help to deviate from that a little bit. Yeah. Also, something I'm disciplining myself to do, got to keep him in frame, and I got to keep him in the center, because a lot of chaotic stuff happens in this music video, and so to keep it reasonably possible to keep up with it all, I'm making sure everything is center frame so that it's not totally unfollowable. I think these finger positions are going to be interesting too, because I'm not actually sure how you twirl these things, but again, that's the whole idea behind this music video is A, it's just go, go, go type of animation, and B, it's a way for me to challenge myself on basically everything. I want to push my own boundaries a lot, and it's been very successful. It's every new thing has involved like stepping out of my comfort zone in one way or another. Maybe his feet shouldn't be as far apart. Maybe. And maybe they should follow the flow a bit more. Or this one should at least. Yeah, I like that a little better. And what I'll do to keep the fire like somewhat consistent when I get to it, I'm going to, oh, first of all, this is on the overlay layer. Let me bring that back to the line art. Yeah. And then I think I will make these circles so that like which will help me keep the spinning of the fire consistent. This is going to be really tricky actually, but I can already tell this is gonna require some intimate planning. But that's what we're here for. That's what it's all about. It's about trying new things, broadening what you're capable of. You never want to put yourself in a box, I don't think. Right. So, I think what I'll do is I'll have that be the first K pose. I'll leave this be a breakdown. So let me see here. And he's going to turn his head a little bit now too. So he's going to be more like that. Yeah. Right. I almost wonder actually if like I should make this a little more interesting with the camera angles. Or if I should just keep it a little more focused. Yeah, I think I'll just keep it a little more focused actually. Make sure foot placement is where it needs to be. Maybe oops. Head's pretty small. Let me... It's also pretty wide. He's a wide boy. Maybe I may have accidentally made some of his features too big here. Wonder if there's a way I can push that pose further too. Yeah. So then that'll go like that. And like that. Oh, ooh, actually, yeah. Let's do it that way. Okay. Create an empty, oh, oops, wrong button. Create an empty drawing here for the breakdown. Yeah, his head's too small. I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna make it big ol', big ol'. And I made, yeah. Fix the flow here a little bit. Yeah. I think it looks a little weird now, but I bet in motion it'll be a little easier on the eyes. Blah, 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 blah. All right, where are we at? Yeah, that'll probably work in motion. And as for the circles here, let me see. You know what? I'm gonna make one of these circles green so that it's easier to differentiate between the two. Yeah. Okay. This next one's going to be a bit funky. Let's make a line of action more like that. Hmm. It's not following the line of action as well as it could. This is a lot of what goes into my animations is just working through the frames, trying to get the posing as tight as possible, and as appealing as possible for that matter. And it's a lot of going back and forth on my decision making. What I might do actually. Yeah, I'm thinking you should bend the other way, actually. Like that. And then maybe the arm should... like that. Oops. Not what I intended. Silhouette could be a little stronger. That's not too bad. Not a fan of this arm, though. I think. Hang on, let me check on something real quick. All right, anyway. Just realized this is the wrong foot actually. Actually, you know what? Yeah, now this is starting to come together. Oh, actually, damn. This is supposed to be the red one, and the green one is supposed to be up here. And this, in general, could be much smaller. I really like this pose. This is one of those favorite frame moments where, like, it's just I'm really into the execution of this one. Looks just right, I think. So I think what I'll do now is I'll have him kind of do that. And his head's going to be in profile view. And this is going to be his back. I might have to move him a little up to the left too, actually. I think he's getting a little bigger as it goes on too. That was not intentional. Nope, hang on. Yeah, to make it just generally more centered. Yeah, he definitely gets bigger. Oops. Okay. Oops. Nope, I didn't mean to do that. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to change my preferences real quick. Where are they? Edit, preferences. I think it's in drawing or advance. Where is that? Blah, 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 blah. Exposure sheet. It's in one of these. Node view, exposure sheet, drawing. Template, sound. How do I change the color of the onion skin again? I know it's somewhere in here, because I've done it before. Oh, here we go. Drawing. Right, but how do I... But how do I actually change the color of it, though? Edit colors. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Let's make this a darker shade of red. Let's make this a darker shade of green, too. Yes, there we go. Yeah. It's a snowy day in Halifax today. Perfect day for spending time inside, just relaxing. Oh, hey! Sorry, I didn't see you in the chat earlier, Smug. It's nice to see you. Are you using that pic as reference for the models you're drawing? Oh, you mean the ones on the left? Yeah. So these were references for an earlier segment. Let me take it back. Way back. So these are rappers because this is a rap song featuring them. And they are reference for this guy, Sean Price. He's the guy on the right. Yeah. And then he passes the mic to his cohort, Jamal Bush, who is the guy on the left. Because this song is like a mashup of one of their songs and a Beatles song. So I want to make sure that they are represented at some point. Still feel like his proportions kind of go all over the place. Well, now they definitely do. Jeez. Okay. Should be more like that. And his head should be a little bigger. Yeah. Sorry if I responded to your question super late. I'm used to going most of this stuff alone, so I'm not in the habit of checking for questions a lot, but hopefully you're still tuning in. Anyway, I think, so this green ring comes back down, catches it in his right arm. And then the red one is the second one he throws up. Well, actually, what I should do is I should copy paste that, make it red, make that around the same height. Doesn't actually matter the height of a thing since it's off screen anyway, but yeah, so let's see how that looks. Oops. Oh, oops, I typed in the wrong thing. I meant to type in... Hang on. Four. Yeah. This could use one more frame, add that, subtract from this one. I think I'm about ready to flesh this guy out a bit more. Question is, what should his look be like? I think what we can do, maybe, okay, first of all, overlay layer, smaller brush. His nose should be like wider, like that. He has like a fierce, determined look in his eye. Thinking he'll have like a headband thing like this. Right. Maybe a bit of a spiky hair. Yeah, okay. It's not bad so far. Oh, you know what? Before I get much further into that, I should put in the secondary stuff. Yeah. It's got like a grass thing here. So this is what I like to do after I flesh out my keys. I like to get these going here because they're going to be subject to drag. And so I like to draw these last so that I get a solid idea of what the flow is going to be like in terms of like how it's always easiest to animate things like clothes, like baggy clothes and capes and stuff and hair last. If it's long enough, that is. Right. And don't think he needs like bracelets like that, unless, no, they generally don't, it looks like. Okay, so I'll leave his arms alone then. It must be a little weird for me to talk about like what these guys wear when I'm looking at references that are not being shown on stream, but whatever. Mostly listening in, yeah. I'll be honest though, if the video quality is only on. Oh. Yeah, I am relatively new to streaming, so, you think this is bad. I had horrible mic quality before this because I wasn't able to plug in all the devices I wanted. I got a USB port hub now, so that I shouldn't have that problem anymore. But, it is what it is. Maybe after this stream I'll adjust my settings a bit more, see if I can't make it a little more watchable. But anyways, how's everything been lately? It's been pretty good, man. I've got decent paying work these days on an exciting project. I can't share anything about it, but um, yeah, I've been working on this music video for a long time now, like almost a year, I think. And I'm only at like the halfway point of my rough animation because it's a very ambitious project. But, I'm seeing it through to the end. I've come too far to give up now. So I think, but yeah, like life's been pretty good. Very chill. I mean, the pandemic isn't great, and by the way, I hope you're holding up in spite of that. Um, because I don't think I've talked to you about the pandemic yet, but hopefully you're all safe and whatnot. You're not in Texas, are you, Smug? Because I've heard all the news about the hardships that Texas is going through right now, so I'm hoping you're safe if you are in Texas, but... Man, why do I do this to myself? Why do I insist on animating the most convoluted shit possible? It's for the art, man. It's for the art. Brr. You hear the rumor that Jennifer Lawrence might be in the Fantastic Four movie? I have not heard any rumors about the Fantastic Four movie, but honestly, I don't think that's a bad choice. I think Jennifer Lawrence is all right. Now, that being said, I am not fully aware of all of Jennifer Lawrence's exploits, so if there's something horrible that she has done that I am not aware of, I apologize. But just in terms of what I've seen her in and what I know about her, I think she's pretty cool. But, these days opinions can change on a dime. So, apologies in advance if that's a very ignorant statement. But. I know that she was kind of a hypocrite when it comes to environmental issues because of her private jet and stuff, but that's about it, really. I don't know about anything else. So who knows? I didn't even know there was a new Fantastic Four movie in the works. That's cool. I'm hoping it's not Garbo this time. Because the last one, whoo boy, that was a stinker. It was very entertaining in some parts, but not at all in a way it intended. I have very goofy hands, but that's fine. That's fine. I wonder if they have anything on their feet. Yeah, they kind of have like little feet bands, or some of them do, some of them don't. Okay, I think I'll just go bare feet for now. Oops. Didn't mean to hit that. Honestly, I don't feel too confident about her playing Sue Storm. I liked her as Mystique in First Class and Days of Future Past, but she honestly phoned it in after a while. Same-ish with Mockingjay. I think she's good for a standalone movie, but I think franchises aren't her thing, but we'll see. I mean, I thought she was okay as Mystique. I do think that, they went a little overboard with representing her in the later X-Men movies because, like, they kind of sort of made her a main character at some point. Even though I'm not really a fan of that when it comes to movies all about like big team settings, especially X-Men movies. I wasn't a fan of when they did that with Wolverine. They still do that to an extent. And I don't think doing it to Mystique is much better. I think like they should definitely try and expand it a little more than what they've done. I don't think it has to be centric to any one character, really. But anyway. That's just my take on that whole can of worms. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a bad choice. I think like it could go either way. It depends entirely on how good the script is. So. But personally, I do think she would do a better job playing the Thing. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so, hey, I've been wondering, is John Krasinski what's his name? Mr. Fantastic? Because I heard a bunch of rumors that he always wanted to play in Mr. Fantastic, and I don't think he'd be a bad choice. I think that'd be pretty good. So, like, John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, Jennifer Lawrence as Sue Storm. Yeah, as for the Human Torch and the Thing, um, let me think. Who would be a good Ben Grimm? Whoever it is, it has to be somebody on the bigger side. I didn't really like the wimpy guy that they got to play Ben Grimm the last time. It's got to be somebody who looks like street tough. But not like over the top, just like somebody who looks tough but kind of ordinary. I think the guy that they got for the original Fantastic Four movies, he was pretty good as the Thing. He had like a nice grovelly voice and he had the attitude down and everything. Uh, who would be a good Thing? I don't know. It would have to be somebody with like a naturally nice, like kind of grovelly voice too. Somebody who can do like the rockier texture a little easier. Maybe the guy who played Hank in Breaking Bad, he would be pretty good. Or maybe if you reimagine the character a little bit, Jonathan Banks as the Thing would be badass. You would have to rewrite him to be an old man, but, you know, it might be effective. I think. Gotta give him nips, because men have nipples too, don't you know? Patrick Warburton would be really funny as a thing, actually. Because Patrick Warburton, he's like the guy who plays like Brock Sampson in Venture Brothers and Joe on Family Guy and that. For one thing, he does have like the nice low voice, which is really funny. But he's also a pretty like big guy himself. Like he's very tall. So I think that would kind of work out. And because like the Fantastic Four typically have like kind of a comedic edge to them, I think it would really work. But I'm hoping John Krasinski might be Mr. Fantastic. Sue Storm, I like her a lot. Could they get a WWE rep? Oh, Dave Bautista would be great. I mean, he's already Drax, which, you know, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, like, somebody went on to play a different comic book character after the Fantastic Four or whatever. Like, you know, Chris Evans went from Human Torch to Captain America, and Michael B. Jordan went from Human Torch to whatever the villain's name is in Black Panther. Yeah. It's too bad what's his name is dead. What's that guy's name? It's Michael Clark Duncan. He was the African American man who like he's also a big guy. He had a very badass low voice, and he was like Kingpin in the Ben Affleck Daredevil, and he was cool in that, and like all sorts of stuff. If he was still alive, he would be a great thing, I think. What about the Human Torch? Who would be a good Human Torch these days? Somebody who's like naturally kind of showboaty. Or someone who's frequently typecast as that sort of thing. If Chris Pratt wasn't already Star-Lord, he could probably do something like that. Or, I don't know. Because, like, the Human Torch is also, like, kind of an asshole. He's especially mean to the Thing a lot. So... who would be a good asshole? It's hard to think about these days because a lot of people who would fit that role, they're kind of in a superhero role already because they're all like buff guys. Um, Robert Pattinson usually plays moodier characters, hence he's going to be Batman. That's not to say he couldn't play like a smart ass guy. Taylor Lautner wouldn't be bad. I'm just thinking of Twilight guys, goddamn. Um, if they want to bring, let me see. Oh wait, Wentworth Miller. He played Chris Redfield. I don't know who Wentworth Miller is. Let me look him up. Wentworth Miller. Yeah, I could see that. Human Torch needs to look like a rival to Tom Holland. Tom Holland is like a guy who looks much younger than he actually is, which is funny. Uh, Live Schreiber as a thing. Oh, I remember that guy. Yeah. He'd be okay, I think. I don't know many actors, I'm starting to realize. Like, everybody I'm thinking of is already in a superhero role, or they're dead, sadly. But yeah, I know what you're saying when it comes to a rival to Tom Holland. He's got to be a guy who looks on the young side. Uh, I don't know. Human Torch, I'm kind of drawing a blank on. Zac Efron's a good one. Ooh, you make like pretty decent choices there. I'm impressed. You're remembering a bunch of people I completely forgot about. Oh, I know. What about Taron Egerton? He was Elton John in Rocket Man. Taron Egerton could be a decent Human Torch, I think, if he got his English or his American accent a little better. Or Doc Ray Montgomery as the Human Torch and the Power Rangers. A Booster Gold movie would be so fucking good. I would, because God knows the DC cinematic universe needs more fun movies. That's why the best DC movie by far is Shazam. Uh, I think like either a Booster Gold movie or a Plastic Man movie would be a very nice change of pace. And if they ever make a Plastic Man movie, it has to be Jim Carrey. Like no other answer is acceptable. It's gotta be Jim Carrey. I don't not care if you feel the need to like age him down or whatever, like with CG, because God knows that that movie would be mostly CG anyway. It's gotta be Jim Carrey. Like no one else will do. I'm honestly surprised Jim Carrey hasn't played Plastic Man sooner. It's just such an obvious fit. in the Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. I really liked him in that. It's a shame it got canceled. Man, Taron Egerton keeps getting screwed over. He consistently does a great job in basically everything that he's in, but then the content that he takes part in gets snubbed somehow. It's very unfortunate. Like, you mentioned that show that got canceled in one season, but also like Rocket Man unfortunately came out like the year after Bohemian Rhapsody, and so like nobody really cared about it, even though it's a much better movie generally. I think it's like a cult classic now, but like Rocket Man was absolutely slept on, especially during award season. Such bullshit. Because Taron Egerton did a great job as Elton John. But, you know, surprise, surprise, award seasons are bullshit. Guess who my personal pick would be for Bruce Wayne in a Batman movie? You'll never guess. Justin Bieber. Did I get it? Did I get it right? Do you want Justin Bieber as Batman? Did I get it right? I'm just kidding. I don't know. Uh, I feel like it's a very outside the box answer, whatever it is. Keanu Reeves, maybe? I hear he's all the rage now. Let me see. Jim Carrey would be great as Zac Efron as Booster Gold, Dave Franco as Blue Beetle, and James Franco. That would be pretty funny. Man, DC should just hire you, dude. A, as a comic book artist, and B, as a casting director for their movies. Because you're nailing it. Eric Bana as Bruce Wayne. I have a very vague memory of who Eric Bana is. Eric Bana. Oh yeah. Uh, he definitely looks the part of Bruce Wayne. The only thing is he doesn't look like a particularly buff guy. Well, I mean, I guess he, I guess he's not too bad, but I think, and honestly, like knowing the workout regimen of these superhero movies, I don't think it would be that difficult for him to catch up. But yeah, okay, I can see that. I mean, I feel like he would be. I noticed that whenever a new character or a new actor playing Batman is announced, people immediately hate it at first. Same thing happened with Michael Keaton. Same thing happened with Ben Affleck. Same thing happened with or not Zac Efron. Robert Pattinson. I've noticed a recurring theme where getting hated on for getting cast at first is like a rite of passage for playing Batman at this point. But then people eventually like you. Because for a while, Ben Affleck was like just one of those actors that people like to hate on, but I don't think people do so much anymore. You know, it would be. I just imagined this, and I know it sounds very memey to say, but I also am kind of sincere. You know who would be a great Joker? Fucking Eric Andre. I know that sounds like such a meme choice because like Eric Andre is just everywhere in terms of internet memes, but I think with his such chaotic energy and the fact that he kind of has the Joker laugh down anyway, I think like he would be a very unique Eric Andre-esque Joker. I think he could do it. And it would be nice to see a Joker that's funny again. I feel like recently we've dropped off on that. Too much of a DCU Batman or Joker to really make a fair analysis of if they're good or not. Well, I mean, like the thing about like I wasn't really making an overall statement on the quality of those portrayals either. I'm just saying that like people always pretty much hate whoever's cast as Batman upon initial release, and then they get over it eventually. But that's actually, now that I think about it, that's a recurring theme in a lot of superhero casting. Like, people initially hated Chris Evans as Captain America. People were unsure about Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Nobody knew who Chris Hemsworth was before Thor. And then what else? Um, Oh, people weren't sure about Chris Pratt as Star-Lord because people only knew him as the guy from Parks and Rec at first. It's a recurring thing, but eventually they do a decent enough job that people kind of get over it. And honestly, like, looking back, Chris Evans was such a good Captain America. Like, genuinely, he was great. I was so happy to see Captain America, like, be done so well in the MCU. Just in general, like, the casting in the MCU is fantastic. Everyone, pretty much everybody suits the role they were given very, very well. Let me ask you something. Well, actually, you know what? I already answered my own question. I was going to ask, like, if you could make your own superhero movie, but you had to pick both a superhero that hasn't been done yet and an actor or actress who hasn't played a superhero yet. Who would you pick? But you already answered my question with like Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, I think. So never mind. Oh yeah, I actually know Eric Andre the most and don't trust the bitch in Apartment 23. He's hilarious in that. Uh, Kristen Ritter and James Vanderbeek. Who is Kristen Ritter again? Who does she play? Or them, I guess. Let me see. Kristen Ritter. Oh, she plays Jesse's girlfriend. Yeah, Jane. Man, her death is so sad in that. She would be a good Lois Lane, I think. I'm not actually a fan of the profile view for this. I think instead what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn that into a quarterback view for this head here. Yeah. Man, it'd be cool if I, once the fire part of this is done, be cool if I added like a little glow to the fire. That'd be badass. I'll have to remember to do that. Probably don't have to do much in order to make that happen either. I think I could, if I put this through a color override and put that through a glow filter, that'd probably work out. I probably don't have to make out any new layers or anything. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's funny you mentioned as Lois Lane because she plays Jessica Jones in the MCU. Yeah, I thought I remembered hearing about that. I've never seen Jessica Jones personally, but I think that could work. Are the Netflix Marvel shows like in the MCU though? Like, are they canon with Endgame and all that, or are they just like a separate cinematic or I guess television universe is more accurate? Let's see how that looks with this off. Hang on. I think maybe the grass gets too long I think it's fine here, but I should definitely shorten it for this one. Yeah. I think his head gets too small again here. It's got kind of a funny face, actually. Nope. That looks wrong. Ooh, it's coming down now outside. It's snowing. Does he get taller? A little bit, yeah. Okay. Now that you mentioned superhero casting, as a Hulk fan, I actually liked Mark Ruffalo as a Hulk at first. I thought he was decent as Banner, but he progressively played himself more and more in each movie. It just didn't feel like how Banner should be portrayed. Yeah, I think like the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole kind of became a flanderized version of itself after a while. Because I think what happened was Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner started as like a very kind of somber, downplayed, kind of sad, shy guy, which makes sense considering Bruce Banner's character. Uh, and Thor had a similar thing going on. Um, And then, but people were responding more and more to the more comedic Marvel stuff. In particular, like Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor Ragnarok. I think especially. So I think after a while, like certain character elements were dropped for the sake of making them funnier. And it doesn't really work for Mark Ruffalo, I don't think. I think he was much better when he was like a sad guy, because that's what Bruce Banner is. He's like somebody who kind of begrudgingly like carries around this curse. Now, on one hand, just like in the comics, Bruce Banner does eventually learn to accept the Hulk, and I think that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you know, you do kind of lose something as a result. Ooh, I do not like how these proportions are shifting around. That's weird. I think I gotta retool this keyframe a little bit. I think what we'll do is we'll make it come down to there. And maybe make his pecs a little wider. It probably wouldn't look too bad in motion, but I'm trying to like make his body a little more consistent. I'm already liking that a lot better. Yeah. Yeah, that looks way better. Holy smokes, it's amazing how much of a difference that made. Let's make this one a little whiter too. He's a buff boy. He's a handsome man. He's got a wider frame. Hmm. I will say for the MCU, Iron Man was the most consistently well written character. I agree. Don't think it. Yeah, yeah. Robert Downey Jr. really was like the magnum opus of the MCU, I think. Same with Captain America. The ending divided a lot of people. When you say the ending, do you mean like the way Captain America's story wrapped up, or the way Iron Man's, or just in general? Hang on. Answer that question, but I'm going to be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. The way Captain America's story wrapped up in Endgame. Um, so what exactly were people mad about? Did they just not like that Captain America's time was over? Did they not like that the shield was passed on to the Falcon instead of the Winter Soldier? Like, what was it? What about it like made people upset? I think it was because he went back in time to reunite with Peggy Carter that he should have moved forward with his. Well, okay, so let me ask you something, Smug. Have you ever heard of a YouTuber called It's Just Some Random Guy? Right. So it's just a random guy. He's this YouTuber who makes these amazing little skits based on Marvel and DC superheroes. He got popular because he made these little skits that were like a parody of the "Hi, I'm a Mac and I'm a PC" commercials, but they were Marvel and DC instead of Mac and PC. Um, so, anyways, he recently made a great series called Man Out of Time. And it's like this fictional thing based on Captain America's travel through time at the end of Endgame. And it goes through like everything that he experienced as he was returning the Infinity Stones to their rightful places. So it talks about his encounter with Red Skull. It talks about his encounter with Star-Lord when he's returning the Power Stone, etc., etc. And the whole theme of that is all about Steve feeling guilty because he wants to like not have to fight the good fight anymore, and he wants a life for his own. But he feels like he's not allowed that because he's Captain America, and it's his responsibility to protect good values and stuff like that. And for him, it's always been about the mission, and it's a whole character arc about him learning that he doesn't have to subject himself to that anymore, and he's more than earned the right to live the life that he wants. And that's why he inevitably goes back to Peggy because he's like, this is the life I've always wanted. This is the life I should have had, but I didn't get because I ended up being stuck in the ice. So I'm gonna give myself permission to enjoy that. And it's great. It's honestly like so well written. And that's how I feel about the whole him going back to Peggy thing. I think like it totally makes sense for him to go back and to live the life that he should have had up until he was frozen in the ice, like the life he deserved to have. You know what I mean? Like, because let's face it, like everyone's saying like he should move forward, but the thing is like everybody knows that he's a guy who's not even in the time period he's supposed to be in. He was unfairly ripped out of where he was originally supposed to be, and so it's like I don't think it's wrong for him to want to go back to that. Like I think it makes perfect sense, and given that he's Captain America. And he's like the best, he's like the most morally upright man who ever lived, basically, worthy of lifting Mjolnir and shit. I think like he absolutely has the right to ask for that. You know what I mean? So you should definitely check out that series. It's genuinely great. It's very creative, and in my head, it's like canon to the way it actually went down. Like, honestly, like, Random Guy is such a good writer that he absolutely should write for the MCU, because he is, or comic books in general, because he's outstanding. He has such a thorough understanding of all the characters he portrays. And he's a very good voice actor as well. Yeah. So personally, I was not at all bothered by him. In fact, I think the way Captain America ended up like getting old is very fitting. I think that's a very nice conclusion to Captain America's character arc. Because if you think about it, I remember Age of Ultron, right? At the ending of Age of Ultron, Captain America has a line that's like, "The man who had dreams went under the ice." When he's talking to Tony Stark about what his plans are now, and that's a representation of how he feels like he has nothing to live for other than to serve as Captain America, because as far as everything Steve Rogers wanted, it's all gone. So it's like, move forward to what? And I like that. I think it was perfectly emblematic of Captain America's whole struggle, because a lot of people think that Captain America is like a perfect Boy Scout guy and that's what makes him not interesting. But I feel like that's a very bad faith criticism. I think like he actually has a lot going on, and he feels the need to put up the illusion of looking perfect and optimistic, because that's the duty of being Captain America. But the truth is, like, uh, he's a much simpler guy than that, and he doesn't want the pressure of being like the totally upright hero. He wanted it at first, but he didn't know, he had no idea like what he was getting into when he landed in the ice. He thought he was going to do it for a little while, and then he would eventually like get permission to retire, but and it's a lot of pressure to put on somebody. Like, he doesn't always have to be the guy who makes the sacrificial play. Like he can let other people be heroes, and that's what the Avengers is all about. Like, people, it's all about how they grow as individuals. Like, Thor learns to have self-respect and not associate his whole identity with his godliness or his hammer or whatever, and Tony Stark, he learns to be more apathetic for other people, and to let himself like be vulnerable and accept the fact that he doesn't have all the answers all the time. And then Steve is all about just like, hey man, you don't always have to be the morally upright guy or the guy with all the answers. Sometimes you're allowed to just be. Also, while we're on the subject, oh yeah, you're welcome for that, by the way. While we're on the subject, I also did not hate Fat Thor. I thought that also made perfect sense. I thought it was original. I mean, it is kinda like an excuse to make lame fat jokes a lot, and it is kinda insufferable comic relief here and there. But I'm not opposed to the general idea of bringing Thor to that kind of low. I think like his character arc was very good, and it makes a lot of sense given everything that went down. Execution, it was a little too silly for my taste, but I'm not opposed to the fact that they did it, or that they thought of it at least. Endgame in general felt like a very nice conclusion for the main trio. You know, Captain America retires, Tony Stark dies, and Thor leaves Earth to look for other things and to find an identity for himself beyond what he's tied himself to. So I don't know. I think in terms of those three, it was very nice, and I cannot wait to see Thor's banter with the Guardians. I think that's going to be great. Right. Oh, whoops. Uh-oh. Looks like I drew all that on the wrong layer. The curse of the artist, you might say. But that's fine. It's an easy fix. Boop. All the same color. Put that on the overlay. And now it should be good. Maybe his arms are too bulky in this frame, actually. Maybe I think they could benefit from... They get too swole, you might say. I think his arms should be thinner than that. I think that's a little better, yeah. It's still a little too big. Hmm. I'm looking for some aggressive poses for a project and an idea to get some realistic ones. First of all, thank you for chiming in, Clues20. Um, it depends on what you're going for. Like, in terms of really dynamic posing, I definitely recommend analyzing a lot of athletes, particularly baseball players, basketball players, gymnasts, figure skaters, basically anything where like you'll notice that their poses like they make great silhouettes because their limbs are very spread far apart, and you'll notice that their actions always follow a certain flow. They have a very noticeable line of action in real life. So I would say study a lot of that if you want some very aggressive posing. Because, and also, just in general, I think a good idea would be to avoid relying on the onion skins too much to define your posing. It would help you make them more diverse from each other if you just got more into the habit of flipping back and forth. I break my own rules a little bit sometimes, but that's the best way to go about it, I think. And I had to learn that from other people too, so... I'm glad you're enjoying the stream, though. Welcome. Anyway, Smug says, not sure if I might see the next Thor movie, but I'm actually really interested in the next Doctor Strange and Spider-Man movies. Mostly because I think they'll be heavily influenced by Sam Raimi. Well, the way I understand it is Sam Raimi is going to be directing the Doctor Strange one anyway, which I think is great because I think it's supposed to have more horror elements, and I mean... We're talking about the guy who made Army of Darkness and all those Ash Williams movies, so I think that's a no-brainer. Like a combination of horror and comedy, yes please. And as for the Spider-Man one, if I understand correctly, that's supposed to be like a live-action Spider-Verse, right? Because I think like what they're going for there is they're gonna have like... Tobey Maguire make an appearance and Andrew Garfield and all that. So, yeah, probably be like that. I'm noticing that the most recent Marvel movies, they're following a trend of... there's a recurring theme of alternate universes. I think WandaVision has that going, but I could be wrong about that because I haven't actually seen it. But also, like... the last Spider-Man movie played with the idea of alternate universes, even though that turned out to be fake. And things like the Doctor Strange movie, I think, is going to play with that. There's What If, which is coming out. And the whole Spider-Verse idea again. I'm thinking what Marvel is building to is this is the alternate universe thing. That's how they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. Is they're going to play with some alternate reality stuff. Also, here's how they introduce mutants to a continuity that has not had mutants for basically the entirety of its run. There's a Loki show coming out. I think that's going to be all about Loki fucking with time and space. That's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about Loki, like, going to random parts in history and, like, meddling with things. And it's going to be his meddling that results in mutants being a common thing and just a fact of life. Anyway, So, I think I got the basic posing of this done. So now it's a matter of putting in the torches. And the torches are going to be doing a lot of twirling around, kind of independently. So I think what I'll do is make a new layer that says torches. And let's turn these back on and lock that. Or maybe, actually, hang on. Instead, I'll do torch 1. Like that. Like a big old drumstick. Have you watched WandaVision? I haven't, but Twitter won't shut the fuck. No, I haven't watched WandaVision. My siblings have been watching it though. I don't have Disney Plus, so I haven't been watching any of those shows. I haven't seen The Mandalorian either. Well, the project is more about de-escalation of people with a mental illness, so I'm going to have some gesture art showing aggressive body language to show when to intervene, so it's more about frustration, I guess. Thanks for your insight. Okay, I didn't completely understand what you meant by aggressive. I just thought you meant, like, over the top and, like, really dynamic. But I didn't know you meant literally, like, angry. So, let me see. Gesture art showing aggressive body language. In terms of references, I mean, you can, like, go to, like, iconic movie and TV show moments that involve very angry people. The ones that come to my mind are in Breaking Bad when Hank confronts Walter about being Heisenberg, and not to solely talk about Vince Gilligan, but also Better Call Saul when Mike is insisting that his that his son wasn't dirty. So those ones are big ones. Just anything that involves that's like a famously angry scene, basically. Or if you want to go with simpler examples than that, maybe some ones that are more understandable and accessible to kids. There's always the Hulk, or anger from Inside Out, or something like that. I'm gonna make this drag a little. I know that real torches don't do this, but sometimes for animation, you gotta play with physics a little bit to really sell it. And then think torch 2. There's an easier way to organize that, actually. Let me see. Where's torch 1? Torch 1. There it is. Yeah. Okie doke. I'll have a look into those. Thanks for your help. No problem. And thank you for enjoying the stream. I appreciate that. I appreciate you stopping by. Kind of a tangent, but the whole Joss Whedon situation is screwed up about what Ray Fisher and the cast of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and saying. I haven't looked too deep into that, so to tell you the truth, I don't actually know what Joss Whedon did, but, you know, that's, I don't know enough about the guy to, or any of his contemporaries to really get into it, because I've never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so, you know, it is what it is. I might have to redo the hands in some of these frames, because the way this twirling is going to work, they're not really making a lot of sense currently, but we shall see. And also, this layering is getting all screwy. One thing I like about Toon Boom is that you can do this. Bingle bangle. You see how I just made that look in front? Pretty cool, right? Hang on. We gotta go all the way back. Yeah. Bingle bangle, jingle jangle. Those are my magic words for making shit work. Now let's see. Oh, it was already A. Look at that. Oh, these are double-sided, aren't they? Yeah, they are double-sided. Okay, let's retool this a little bit then. That's the wrong layer. This is what I wanted, I think. Hang on. Yeah. turn the other one off so it's less confusing, and don't think that matters too much, but I know it's hidden behind the arm and everything, but whatever. That's funny. Why is it in front? Oops. Come on. It's gonna move on. There we go. I got an advanced Dungeons and Dragons game in 15 minutes, so I'm going to try and prepare for that. We'll stick around for the stream for a bit, though. All right, well, for what it's worth, I appreciate you sticking around and chatting, Smug. It was nice to catch up a little bit. So, yeah. I think once I put in these torches, I'm going to probably call it 2. I've basically done the key stage. I will probably do the in-betweens on a later day. Because, or maybe I'll do them off screen, because I'm planning on hanging out later today with other folks. So maybe I won't stream it, but we'll see. What I'm really in the mood to do is play some Jet Set Radio, because I just got it, and man, so good. It was a little wonky at first, though. The controls are a little floatier, and they're a lot more simplistic than I remember. So I was having a frustrating time with it last night, but I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. The key, I think my main problem with playing that game is I keep like I hold down like the jump button every time I jump, whereas I think like if I manage that a little closer, I can just generally control a lot easier. Do you even know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Just in time too, cause I gotta eat dinner as well. Do I even have anything in the fridge? I don't think so. I think I gotta go grocery shopping. I think just to make my life a little easier, I might do this. Because let me tell you, if you can find instances where you're allowed to be a little lazier and nobody will notice, take them. That's the way to be. Yes, sirree. Speebly. I don't think I'll copy paste that one though. I think because this one's a bit of a different perspective. So, oops, wrong color. All right, let's see what that looks like without all the rough stuff on. Do that. Turn these off. It's a little hard to notice the twirling in this stage, but I think once I put everything into motion, it'll be a little easier to see. Also, maybe to sell this motion more. Well, I have to put it in between there anyway, so maybe I'll just do that whole drag thing on that one when I get to it. Finally, what I believe I shall do, I will put like little trail things for the fire. So like that. Like that. Maybe that will help sell the spin a bit more. During the key stage. Hmm. No, this doesn't make any sense. Oh, I just realized, actually. This is the whole reason I put the circle thing in. Yeah, okay. My bad, I forgot about that. I'll make an exception for that one since it's way up there. And this one too. Yeah. We'll do the same for that. Actually, no. Yeah. Cool. Let's see how all that looks. Alright, I think I'm about to head out. Nice to see you started streaming on Twitch. I'm on here a lot now. Hope you'll do some more streams. It's fun chatting with you. Same with you. Enjoy your Dungeons and Dragons. I hope it's all fun. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to turn the other torch on. There we go. All right, I think I'm happy with where this has ended up being. Feet get larger out of nowhere, but you know what? I think with just a little tweaking, we can make that better. Oh, oops. Hang on. There we go. Yes. Yes. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this stream. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, and for anybody who chat. I greatly appreciate the viewership. I'm going to call it here because I'm going to go get dinner, and I think I ended at a good place where I'm happy with. So tune in to the next one. Maybe I'll move on to something else. Maybe I'll show you the in-betweening of this. But yeah, take care. Happy Saturday.